grant me courage to serve others, for in service there is true life. In giving of yourself, you will discover a whole new life full of meaning and love. Kindness and compassion toward all living things is the mark of a civilized society. You cannot oppress the people who are not afraid anymore. You cannot uneducate the person who has learned to read. There's no reason to be non-violent. There's no challenge unless you're living for people. What I do shows people what kind of person I am. When any person suffers for someone in greater need, that person is a human. It takes a lot of punishment to be able to do anything to change the social order. The basis for peace is respecting all creatures. We are certain God's will is that all men share in the good things this earth produces. In non-violence, the cause has to be just and clear as well as the means. I'm not going to ask for anything unless the workers want it. If they want it, they'll ask for it. We must understand that the highest form of freedom carries with it the greatest measure of discipline. When you sacrifice, you force others to sacrifice. It's an extremely powerful weapon. Only when we have become non-violent towards all life will we have learned to live well with others. Once social change begins, it cannot be reversed. The people united will never be defeated. We have seen the future, and the future is ours. There's no turning back. We will win. We are winning because ours is a revolution of mind and heart. Together, all things are possible. The love for justice that is in us is not only the best part of our being, but it is also the most true to our nature. We are suffering. We have suffered. And we are not afraid to suffer in order to win our cause. Talk is cheap. It is the way we organize and use our lives every day that tells what we believe in. A symbol is an important thing. That is why we choose an Aztec eagle. It gives pride. When people see it, they know it means dignity. In the no-nonsense school of adversity, which we did not choose for ourselves, we are learning how to operate a labor union. When a man or woman, young or old, takes a place on the picket line for even a day or two, he will never be the same again. The first principle of non-violent action is that of non-cooperation with everything humiliating. Self-dedication is a spiritual experience. Non-violence is really tough. You don't practice non-violence at conferences, you practice it on picket lines. The non-violent technique does not depend for its success on the goodwill of the oppressor, but rather on the unfailing assistance of God. We need, in a special way, to work twice as hard to help people understand that the animals are fellow creatures, that we must protect them and love them as we love ourselves. If we are full of hatred, we can't really do our work. Hatred saps all the strength and energy we need to plan. Look at the John Birch Society. Look at Hitler. The reactionaries are always better organizers. Organizing is an educational process. The best educational process in the union is the picket line and the boycott. You learn about life. The only ones who make things change are fanatics. If you're not a fanatic around here, you can't cut it. Non-violence means people in action. People have to understand that with non-violence goes a hell of a lot of organization. Years of misguided teaching have resulted in the destruction of the best in our society, in our cultures and in the environment. What is at stake is human dignity. If a man is not accorded respect, he cannot respect himself, and if he does not respect himself, he cannot demand it. If you're not frightened that you might fail, you'll never do the job. If you're frightened, you'll work like crazy. Non-violence exacts a very high price from one who practices it. But once you are able to meet that demand, then you can do most things. Violence just hurts those who are already hurt. Instead of exposing the brutality of the oppressor, it justifies it. We're going to pray a lot and picket a lot. If you win non-violently, then you have a double victory. You have not only won your fight, but you remain free. Non-violence has suffered its biggest defeat in the hands of people who most want to talk about it. If you give yourself totally to the non-violent struggle for peace and justice, you also find that people give you their hearts, and you will never go hungry and never be alone. We do not need to kill or destroy to win. We are a movement that builds and not destroys. However important the struggle is, and however much misery and poverty and degradation exist, we know that it cannot be more important than one human life. Our union represents a breaking away, represents sharing a power, represents questioning, represents a new force. However long it takes, we are geared for a struggle. We are organizers at heart. Most of us in the movement take great pride in being able to put things together.